So we're on some unprecedented shit right now where House Shoes try to come in and then IG blocked him from going live. That's some serious fuckery. I've never seen that before. But I'm resending the invite. Seriously, odd as fuck. It's wild, yo. Y'all ever heard of of being blocked before? You ever hear of someone being blocked from going live before? That is some weird ass shit. In the meantime, yo, let's play Green Mind's contribution to Flip Sessions 8. I believe this was the winner of Flip Sessions 8. Okay, I see Shoes. Okay. Hey. Okay, I see you, man. I see you. Damn. They block your shit when you pop off. That's some fucked up shit. You've been a good boy, though. Yeah, man. Yo, I just sent a new invite. Do you see it? Are you able to accept that invite? Van, damn, there's some fuckery still. Okay. I'm accepting you in.
Are we
okay, there you are.
All right,
you here, man. You here.
Bro. Let's fucking go. Let's figure this shit out.
Yeah, let's get started. so your introduction to hip hop culture.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Let me try these headphones again. Bang bang. You hear me?
Yeah, man. All gravy.
All right. So intro. So we lost that intro. Introduction to hip hop. Yeah, I didn't get into that. So
yeah,
5th grade, McIntyre Elementary School. Right. It's pretty pale. It's not a lot of color. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ron Garrison. This dude, actually, he went by Ron, but his name was Roderick. Roderick Garrison moved into the city from New York, and his uncle was Father MC.
Oh, snap. Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy, right? So he had
Nuts.
all the tapes. Like, I love music, but I was just kind of on regular shit, like whatever was popular. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he had, the Fat Boys, Run DMC, Houdini, Ice-T, all that shit. And it was off to the races.
Okay. Now, what was it about? Oh, yo, I just wanted to let you know that you got folks saying peace to you in the comments.
Cheers, y'all.
Yeah. There's love for you, dog. There's love for you.
Word up.
Now, one thing that I've always wondered about, because we were all exposed to the culture through whatever means, but there's a lot of similarities to how most people are introduced to the culture. When you were introduced to the culture, was there any sort of, like, did you have any musical leanings before that?
No, I just kind of leaned toward music. You know what I mean?
Word.
Music was definitely present in both households. My parents had split. My pop had his records at his spot. My mom had her shit over there, and from Miles Davis to Herb Alpert to Simply Red to John Coltrane, Steely Dan. It was pretty broad. You know what I mean?
Some good music to grow up to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's how it was back in the day. Everything wasn't so condensed. They didn't break everything up like they have now. Everybody just kind of liked the same shit.
True that. I hear that, man. I hear that. Did you have any previous musical training?
No, I played the trumpet for like a day. And
oh, word? Nice.
Yeah, actually it was a cornet. Like,
okay.
They hand out the instruments and they gave me the cornet, and the teacher was kind of a dickhead. He was,
it was what it was.
I couldn't buzz my lips right, and he kind of talked kind of crazy, and I was like, you know what, fuck this shit. And I just walked out the room. go to the record store. I'm not gonna. I'll buy music. I ain't gonna play it.
I hear that. Yo, did you have any siblings that you were around who were exposed to the culture before you, or was this more of like, yo, you found it on your own?
No, it was me. I had an older brother, but he was, white people.
Yeah. I hear that. I hear that.
Smashing Pumpkins and shit. You know, it's cool. He loved music too, just like I did, but he
Right?
loves. I didn't love that shit. He loved that
Different
shit.
flavors, yo. Different
I love
flavors.
to each his own.
Exactly. Exactly. So when what I've found through all the conversations we've had with artists from across the spectrum, straight up, everyone had an epiphany moment. We all discovered the culture through whatever means we discovered it, but not everyone discovers the culture and comes to a realization that they want to contribute to the culture in some form or fashion, whether it be one of the elements or what have you.
Right.
How did you know? How did you know that this was going to be your future? What was it about the culture that you felt an affinity towards that made you want to contribute to the culture?
Just seeing the homies do it.
Okay.
First person. Like that, okay, word. My homie Spot had a 4-track. I was in this crew called 31 Flavors. That was the first kind of crew I was in.
Okay.
Southfield based. We grew up in Southfield. Southfield bordered Detroit on the northwest side. So, they had some shit. Like 31 was crazy. It was lots of members, lots of styles. The production was fantastic, and they made all the beats on a 4-track, like just looping shit
Nice.
and layers.
Yes.
And the sampler was like a little blue, fucking. It looked like a video game controller. It ran off an 8-volt battery, a 9-volt battery.
Oh damn, a 9-volt. Damn.
But it was like a 16-second sampler. It had pitch control on the motherfucker. And like one day I was like, hey man, let me borrow the 4-track and the sampler. And I started making beats.
And then you knew.
I just kind of had a knack. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy.
So were you coming up around homies that were? I feel like you were coming up around homies who were already kind of fucking with it. Was that what led you to start to play around?
Absolutely.
Just by being around it? Okay.
This was like 1994. I would have been 19 years old at the time. And what do you do when you're 19? You wake up, you go get some weed. You go to the liquor store and you go over to the homie's crib.
Hell yeah.
I mean? And they're making heat. And I just soaked it in and I was like, damn, like I paid attention. And I've always had kind of a good ear, and it just started. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
And from there, I bought an MPC 3000, and then we was really off to the races. Dilla would show me JD would show me he taught me how to work the SP 1200 and the 950, and he actually taught me how to work the 3000 too. And he would just set me up in the crib and leave. Like go to the titty bar and never come back.
Yeah.
I would just be in the basement making beats. You know what I mean? Until like 3, 4. There was a couple times the sun was out when I left, and he still wasn't back.
That's like, if we're gonna be real, anyone who gets involved in hip hop, especially like musically, I mean that's the reality, right? Like when you first start getting into it, yeah, you're gonna be up till like sun come up because you're trying to get your legs.
Well, there's nothing more exciting than creating.
Hell yes, all day.
Like when you have that lightning in a bottle when you realize that like you can do it too. That's the most pivotal moment. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But you have to act on it though.
Very true. Very true. Now, were there any other aspects of the culture that you were ever interested in, that you ever dabbled in?
Nah, I was a DJ.
Right.
I was a DJ primarily that made beats for his own personal enjoyment. And when I made some good ones, I gave them to the homies. You know what I mean? But I was never like graph. I had terrible handwriting, no hand styles at all.
I feel you, dog.
Not a fucking dancer. You know what I mean? The one thing in my life you'll never see me at is on a dance floor.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah.
I mean, we get in where we fit in for sure. Most
absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah. Now, when you knew that this was something that you were actually serious about, when that day came, because everyone everyone, again, it's another epiphany moment. We know when you decide to get serious about something. The family you had around you, were they down? Did they get what you were doing, and did they support what you were doing, or were they just kind of like, okay, man, do you? Like, we don't get it, but yo, do you?
I'm super, like, my mother's super responsible. Like, my mother was a single mother in that transitional point when my parents got divorced and shit, and she held it down, and she's always been a utmost supporter, whatever I want to do. You know what I mean? You know, white kid, rap shit, late 80s. What the fuck are you doing? And then I just
True
start
that.
playing.
True that. True
I
that.
just start playing the tapes for him though. I'm like, just listen. You know what I mean? Like my uncles like rock and roll and
Yeah.
shit. I would play him Run DMC, Rock Box and shit, and they'd be like, "Yo, that's cool."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Completely. Completely.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you about, because I'm here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and you originally came from Detroit.
Yes, sir.
We used to have affiliates, Detroit affiliates in Winnipeg. So we
Oh
was
yeah.
watching your news. We was
Wow.
watching your programming, and we were
Bill
watching
Bonds.
your news.
That's crazy.
For real. Like, so we got to learn about Detroit real easy because we was watching it on TV.
So you was tapped into like Devil's Night and Bill Bonds drunk
Exactly.
at
Exactly.
6 o'clock every day and shit.
You know? So it really got me wondering, you know, okay, so I kind of see what Detroit is about. You know, you really just got to watch the news.
Right.
So I really got a sense of what Detroit was about just based on the news, and like the programming was all the typical, you know, national cable shit, but just
Right.
based on the news. And it always, I mean, when I was coming up, you know, especially in the culture, obviously because it's another market, I'm like, yo, what is it like over there right now? I know what we're kind of going through and how we've all kind of discovered the culture here. Like, what was going on in Detroit when you were really starting to, you know, you've already made your decision, you knew this was for you? What musically, what was going on in Detroit when around this time frame for you?
Well, I mean, I can only tell you what I was around. You know what I mean? I went to Eastern Michigan University in 1993 in the fall. I think it might have been the only school I got into.
It's all baby.
And my homies. So after 31, I started fucking with Last Ones Out, which was another pivotal crew in Detroit, and some of the homies would come up. They would drive up to Ypsilanti, which is like, you know, like 45 minutes away from Detroit.
Yes.
Every Friday night, they would pick me up and they would take me to, you know, Stanley's Rhythm Kitchen at St. Andrews Hall or 1515 Broadway or the Mecca. You know what I mean? And that was my first personal introduction
Okay.
to it. And it was incredible. It was like the Big Bang. It had just started. And you know what I mean? It was very pure and very innocent. I think the older you get, you realize that innocence is one of the most important qualities in life, even though
Hell yes.
most of us
God, yes.
most of us have none left, but you gotta try to will some more, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just, you know, super grateful. I'm super grateful that the cats fuck with me. I got kicked out of Eastern for arson.
Arson.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was,
That's
so
wild.
we were all blowed going to the cafeterias one night, and I burnt the corner off of a flyer in the hallway. But unbeknownst to me, there was a serial arsonist in the freshman buildings that was literally lighting the message boards on fire.
Oh, shit.
And one of the homies that was going with us to the cafeteria snitched on me, and they put me out. But it's the greatest thing that ever happened in my life. You know what I mean? Greatest thing. I took the rest of my money. I had a little balance left, and I spent it all on records. And I would start going down to St. Andrews Hall on a Friday night, just bringing like 10, 15 records. Like, let me get the last few minutes.
Yeah. I
And
heard that.
for some fucking reason, they let me get on the last few minutes. Off to the races again. You know what I mean?
There you go. Just as an aside, I think it's kind of dope how you mentioned Ypsilanti, and I fucking knew exactly what you're talking about. Well, because, I mean, when it comes to cross-border communication, the closest market to us would be Minneapolis.
Okay.
So there's a lot of cross border between Winnipeg and Minneapolis. Not so much Detroit, even though we had, we were watching your TV,
Right.
but Minneapolis was kind of more what we were closer to. So there's a lot more up and down between here
Okay.
and Minneapolis. You know what I mean? So I've just always kind of wondered when I was watching Detroit TV, just like, yo, what's going on hip hop wise over there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before, of course, the obvious things,
Yeah. I mean,
the obvious names and what have you.
when I was going to school at Eastern, there was like a public access show, and you would see motherfuckers like outside the venues, back at the crib, freestyling and shit.
Okay.
And then the homies started
Okay.
taking me to the same spots I was watching on TV. Like, you know what I mean? It was unbelievable. Like, fuck, like we're just as good as everybody else.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
That became obvious. That became obvious. Now, in your travels and in your journey in the culture, you happen to meet a gentleman who goes by the name of James Yancey. How did that come about?
So I started working at this record shop called Street Corner Music.
Hell yeah, big up Street Corner.
It's kind of a very important story. Gangstar is Hard to Earn. It came out. It was April. It was the beginning of April, 1994. And I went up to the store to buy I wasn't even going to ask him for the record because I was like, they're not going to have a record. I was like, I'll ask him for the CD. So I went up there, I asked for the CD. They were like, we don't have the CD, but we got the record. And I did my whole bug out shit. I probably did like Snow Angels on the floor. You know what I mean? And I was looking around. I'm like, it's a dope spot. I was like, you guys need any help? Like, what's good? And they were like, we don't have any money. Like, we can't pay you, but we could, we could give you store credit. We could start you off on some store credit shit. We could pay you an hourly wage and store credit. And I was like, when we start?
Word.
Yeah. And off to the races.
And damn. And look at how that relationship turned out.
It's crazy, man. I couldn't fucking think about what to call the label. And I didn't want it to be house shoes related or me personally. And Street Corner Music was the first place that invested money. Like, they made me a buyer. They gave me their money to spend.
That's solid.
To import my taste upon other people. You know what I mean? So I hit him up. I called Chris, the owner. I was like, I want to start this record label. What you think? He was like, fucking go. And that was 9 years ago. Saturday.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
I mean, starting a label is daunting just in and of itself.
I got talked into it.
You got taught. You're like, I didn't mean to start. I
didn't.
Someone said you should.
I did. So I started a series of like downloadable beat tapes called The Gift.
Yes.
And I kind of had the little Street Corner Music brand, you know what I mean? And shout to my man Joe Dent, who used to run Fat Beats blindfolded with his hands tied behind his back. He's not there any longer, and it's a fucking shadow of its former self.
True.
But yeah, he taught me into it. He was like, "I'll make it real easy for you, bro. Like, you just give me proofs and masters, and we're good." And it was a cakewalk. Honestly, I'm very, very grateful for that. And
well, I think it's safe to say that we're grateful for that too, because you have contributed to the hip hop canon because of that.
Yeah, it's personal, man.
Yeah, for real.
It's personal. Like it's sometimes it's too personal. You always hear people say business never personal.
Mm-mm.
Hey, homie, my business is always personal. You know what I mean?
For real.
And I've built a platform to be able to expose artists. It's all the way personal. You either like it or you don't. The records are going to be there forever. You know what I mean?
No, for real. That's so real. That's so real. When you think of Detroit and you think about hip hop culture in Detroit, what are the 5 things that immediately come to your mind first?
5 things. Shit.
5 things.
Hip hop in Detroit. Ooh-wee. Well, Merciless Amir, A Day Without a Rhyme. That's the first thing, because we had records, but that record was like, fuck, this is a record like for real. Go on YouTube, check that out. Merciless Amir, A Day Without a Rhyme. Very, very pivotal moment. Eshawn.
Oh, respect Isham.
Eshawn
All
was the
day.
shit. Like, he started the whole genre of music. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Dilla, of course. Hip
Of
Hop
course.
Shop, St. Andrews Hall.
Hell yeah. I'm not surprised by your answers, man. Not surprised
I,
by your answers at all.
I could have given you like 40 answers right there. You know what I
You
mean?
probably could have.
Yeah.
Now, a couple of those I feel like we don't need history on, but I feel like we really should talk a little about St. Andrews Hall
Oh, absolutely.
for people who aren't aware, for people who are not aware about St.
Yeah.
Andrews Hall because they just don't live in that market or not aware. Tell them about St. Andrews Hall.
So St. Andrews Hall was a venue, 431 East Congress, downtown Detroit. There was a night that started in, I want to say like late 92, called 3 Floors of Fun. And it was a 3-level venue. The top floor would be house and techno. But like the illest shit, played by the illest DJs. Main floor hip hop, same shit. Basement, alternative. So it was a progressive space. It was people that cared about music. You know what I mean? One of the
Right.
you talk about epiphanies. An epiphany I had a few months back was like, it's really crazy because do you understand how many people go out to like nightlife events and don't give a fuck what music is playing?
Straight up. Oh, that's so real.
Like the
So real.
majority of people are just going to party and get trashed.
Exactly.
Like I have never gone out in my life except for the music.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But St. Andrews Hall, yeah, 3 Floors of Fun went for years and years. There's a famous article in Herb magazine that details it very well.
Nice.
Hex Murder used to knock out Ned motherfuckers in the middle of the street.
Respect Hex Murder.
You know what I mean?
What?
Back when he had his legs, I love you, Hex.
Respect all day.
Hex would have a water bottle full of vodka,
Nice.
and he would probably refill it at one point through the night or multiple points. But there was, it changed over the years, of course. After a while, you had, you rolling? All right, brother. Safe. Shout out to my man, Phonics. I'll tap in with you. The shit gets more popular. The radio station comes in. The main floor turns into hits. The hip hop goes to the basement, and then the hip hop goes to the 3rd floor where it's like whispers. You know what I mean? Like my man Tone did a record with me called Homage, and I was very grateful for it. It was kind of like a honorarium to me, and he was talking about how like the hip hop shit at St. Andrews became the spot where like the fat chicks would go to like get a breath of air and shit. You know what I mean?
Yo, respect Big Tone.
Yeah, and respect big girls. We love y'all.
Hell yeah, all day. Damn, hell yeah.
Absolutely.
What was radio like around that time in Detroit?
I feel like it was kind of the same everywhere. I mean, you have your regional records, but for the most part, there's a hip hop show on the weekends, late night, on maybe 1 or 2 channels if you're lucky. Yeah, you would hear whatever the most popular local record was. You would maybe hear it like the top 5 at 9, or you would hear the instrumental for like traffic and weather, sound beds type shit. You know what I mean? But it was never much local support at all. I feel like that's not a fucking, that's not singular of Detroit. I feel like that's in a lot of markets. You know what I mean? Unless you're New York, LA hold themselves down, but everywhere else it's like, it's just typical shit.
Basically, no, I feel you on that. Was there any support on college or community radio?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I had a college show at Henry Ford. That was an incredible era. Super, like the best days in life would be a Saturday because I would wake up, I was working at Street Corner. I would pick up a check from Street Corner and go to our local like mom and pop's distributor.
Yeah.
A lot of y'all have no idea what the fuck that means. So if you have a record store, you order your music from distributors, which are large warehouse places, and they take your orders and they ship you all your shit. But if something was really hot from Tuesday to Friday, that shit's gonna sell out. So you needed a refill. shipping wouldn't come in time. You need a local spot to re-up. Prices are a little more high, but you can bang shit out over the weekend. And they would always have the Tuesday releases on that Saturday. So for a good couple years, there's nothing that I didn't get early. I was paid by, I could get a couple of tapes or a couple 12 inches. And then the homie that was working the vinyl at the distributor, like, he fucked with me. So he started giving me promos, and I had more heat to play on Friday nights at St. Andrews. It was fucking crazy.
There you go.
Pick up the shipment from Angot, take it back to the store, go do the radio show at WHFR, which was unbelievable. Sometimes I would just bring the MPC up there and, like,
Haha, nice.
do live remixes with acapellas.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, we had a real funny story is I separated the singular greatest event of Beats and Breaks, which was my show with Josh Lang. He brought me into it at WHFR.
Okay.
So we had JD on and we had Eminem on, right? But for some reason, my mind separated those events into 2 separate days, but it was the same fucking day. And there's a lot.
But it's actually same day. Damn.
Like, a lot of people have that question. Like, were they ever in the same room? The first time they were ever in the same room, you know what I mean, was probably on my radio show. That was definitely the first time that Eminem ever rapped on the radio. You know what I mean?
God damn. Okay, now that's a gem.
40 minutes after a fucking JD interview.
That is some serious shit, dog.
And then we would leave the fucking radio show and go to the hip hop shop for open mic.
Right, because where else? Yeah, it makes total
DJ
sense.
heads and everybody that matters in the whole entire hip hop community of Detroit's in the room. Unbelievable.
That's some wild shit, man. Seriously, you're kind of blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, it's like
the thought of it.
Fuck Disneyland, man. Like, you have no idea
Literally.
what these days was like. You know what I mean?
God damn. Yo, you bring up the hip hop shop, and for anyone who wasn't a Detroit resident or familiar with hip hop shop, we might have only heard about it through a magazine or word of mouth from other DJs or what have you. So if you could just take a second to tell folks about hip hop shop.
The hip hop shop was kind of a bodega style spot on 7 Mile, which was home to Maurice Malone's designs. He was a kind of pivotal.
Hell yeah. Respect Maurice Malone.
You know what I mean? In fashion from Detroit in the mid and early 90s, he's still doing his thing. He's still killing shit. So this was his spot. This was his brick and mortar for retail. And every Saturday they would have open mic, DJ'd by DJ Head, who was Eminem's DJ. After Proof brought Eminem into the shop, like the first time we ever saw Eminem was when Proof brought him up to the shop. We're like, God damn, what the fuck is going on right now? This is crazy. And it was a playground. Super innocent. I used to have a white Ford Escort station wagon.
Hey.
And everybody that matters in Detroit hip-hop existence smoked multiple blunts in that motherfucker.
There you go.
You know what I mean? It was just fun. But, like, we had no intentions, man. Like, that's the thing. That's one thing I really try to impart on people is sometimes the best things happen when you're not trying.
Exactly.
Because we was just getting blowed and fucking around, yo. Like the learning stages are so pivotal and just the community, and we were all kind of on the same wavelength and frequency, and it was just magical. You know what I mean? But we weren't like, we're changing the world. Nobody was talking shit. I wasn't in St. Andrews playing records.
Yeah, y'all was just like, yo, I'm just doing my thing.
You're gonna remember my name in this motherfucker. I'm like, no. I've had like 9 fucking blue motherfuckers and smoked like 9 blunts on stage, and we're trash, and I'm just having fun. I'm not a great technical DJ. You know what I mean? After 2 years on Twitch, the cuts are a little better out in the front. After like half a bottle of whiskey, the cuts come out. You know what I mean? But it was just about having a good time, man.
There you go, dog.
we gotta have fun, man.
Yeah, man.
Like, I remember arguing with the breakdancers back in the day because the breakdancers would want to be right in front of the stage. And they'd be kicking bitches in the face and shit. And it's like, bro, like, this spot is so big.
Shit. Yeah, like, it's not supposed to fuck up the vibe, though.
Give the ladies their space, yo. Like, the ladies want to party. And I'm not that, but it's like, come on, man. You kicking like, 4 girls got kicked in their chins.
Damn. Yeah, I know that. I know that that's always been kind of a thing when it came to like hip hop jams. Is like because the breakers all want, they always want to like flex when the DJ is dropping like the real shit.
Right.
But then there's always the balance of the fact that that floor isn't just for breakers.
Right. And the girls want to get in the front, and
Exactly.
they're getting punted, yo. Like it's crazy.
Yep. Straight up. Straight up. One thing about the hip hop shop that was dope is that every market had their own hip hop shop.
Word up.
And so
absolutely.
Yeah. when we look at the hip hop shop, we can relate because we had something like that too, and like Minneapolis had something like that too. You know what I mean?
That's crazy because it's so obvious, but I never really thought about it like that. That's a very accurate statement. Hell yeah.
Yep. So when I would read about hip hop shop in like a magazine, I'd be like, oh, yo, I know that vibe. Yo, we got that same vibe over here.
Word
you know
up.
what I mean?
Hell
and
yeah.
Then when you see how many markets actually have that same vibe, then back then especially, you start to realize, yo, this culture is growing, motherfucker.
Word up. Word up. Yep.
And that was just so dope to see. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Now,
yeah.
When you think of Detroit, what would you say influenced you musically the most?
That's the thing. There's no singular thing. We were right in the middle of everything.
Yeah, you were.
We were right, like you got to understand, like equal East Coast, West Coast, down South, Miami bass, Two Live Crew, fucking all that shit came in. You know what I mean? Like all that shit was pivotal, and just the hodgepodge of all that is what created what we did. You know what I mean? On all sides, from house to techno to hip hop.
Hell yeah.
Even the rock scene, like we took our bits and pieces and our influences from everywhere because we fuck with everything.
Exactly.
We were very lucky that like you did ask about the radio earlier, and we had Mojo, who was fucking
electrifying Mojo. What?
Like,
oh my
like,
God. Respect to him.
I didn't go to church. I'm very grateful my parents didn't make me go to motherfucking church. My parents split up. I didn't. It was creepy. Like white people church is creepy.
I mean, no offense to anyone who, like I respect everyone and their beliefs and shit, but like I'm an atheist, man. So I just can't go there. You know what I'm
saying? I'll say I'm agnostic. I'm like, prove it, bro.
Okay.
But Mojo was church, man. And there were no lines.
Hell yes.
There were no divisions. It was everything.
Facts.
It was everything played in the same space with the same respect. And it taught the city. You know what I mean? Like, then you had Jeff Mills, the wizard, who was fucking out of control. Like, the illest DJ you would ever hear on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. We had the Wizard of Mojo. We were in good shape. You know what I mean?
Just for anyone.
And it takes people, I'm pretty sure every market has those as well, but maybe not. But you have to have those providers. Those.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
When you bring up Mojo, I think we need to like chat about Mojo just real quick, because for anyone who's not familiar with the name Electrifying Mojo, I mean, when I say tastemaker, I mean that word doesn't even properly describe. So if you could just kind of let people know who Mojo was.
So his show started with the mothership landing every night. Like it was a whole thing. Like it was a whole sequence.
Yeah,
like,
man.
It wasn't like his show just started and he's playing records. You went through this whole motherfucking thing, and he was like a mythical creature. He would be, if you're fucked up and you're like miserable, he would reach out to you. He'd be like, if you're at the end of your rope, just make sure you tie a knot and hold on. Like he said that shit. He unified a city. He would do the shit with like the flash your lights if you're listening. You'd be on the freeway. Everybody's flashing the lights. If you're at home, flash the street light, you know what I mean? And everybody would be at church at the same time, just living that same vibration.
To give people who are not familiar, who might be a little bit younger, if you were to say if there was a modern day Mojo, who would you who could folks who are a little bit younger grasp onto if we were to give them a modern day Mojo?
Fuck, man. Me.
I'm so glad you said that because my next question was about to go. See, but you kind of Mojo too, though, dog.
I'll
So
take
we're
it,
gonna
man.
touch it. Let's just touch it straight up. I think it's dope that we brought up Mojo because if I think about Mojo, I do straight up think of you. Because when it comes to someone who has been responsible for helping to illuminate some new talents, your name is most definitely front and center.
That's all it's always been. I'm
Straight up.
at the end of the day, I'm a DJ. Like, what's your job, DJ? Play records, man. Like,
I think some people forgot that, but we won't touch that.
it ain't no when your job is just to present who's next and who's dope. There's not a lot of room for ego in that.
Nah.
You have to maintain the dignity and the integrity. It's not about you. You're a vessel. I'm so grateful to be able to be a vessel. I made some cool shit over the years, but I listen to my shit the same as I listen to all this great music that I play. So I'm not a super confident musician in my own right. You know what I mean? I'll keep it a buck. I got some joints, but I'm not going to put myself next to anybody on some real shit because it's never been about that. My space has always been about who's next. Who's that motherfucker? You know what I mean? And doing my best to share that shit with as many people as possible. From St. Andrews to the record stores over the years to a record label, you know what I mean? to whenever I play records. Like, I don't play regular shit. Like, you're not going to hear that over here. I'm going to play some shit that you need to hear, not that you want to hear.
Straight up, man. Straight up. And I mean, at this point, I don't think anything expects anything but that from you.
Word.
So, I mean, so apropos. You know what I'm saying?
Word up.
So apropos. Now, I'm just going to bring up a couple of names because you have been responsible for introducing folks to some folks that they weren't familiar with right off top.
Right.
So let's just start with the most obvious.
Yeah.
JD.
Yeah.
The most obvious.
Yeah.
Something about Dilla. You saw something in this guy.
I heard some.
Exactly. What? How did? Okay, it's tough to say because as DJs, you know, you're almost like an A&R too.
Right.
So if you were put on your A&R cap, so what did you see in James Yancey that you knew, yo, people aren't ready for what this guy's about to do?
It was accelerated, man. It was accelerated. Like, I fuck with good shit. Like, I fuck with great music, and I met him at the record shop. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I my shift was ending, and he was like, "You want to hear some shit?" And I was like, "I got a joint." He didn't even smoke weed, but he smoked a joint with me.
Nice. Nice.
And he had a white Ford Ranger. We got in the car. He put a tape in, and I was like, "Fuck, man! Like, yo, like, this shit is incredible." Singular. I fuck with singular shit. I don't want to be able to figure out who you like. It's kind of different with him. You can tell, like, you know, the earliest description was Pete Rock on steroids. And in 1994, Pete Rock was fucking Jesus Christ.
Hell yes.
You know what I mean? Like, 100%, yo, with unequivocally. It was Pete and Primo.
Straight
and
up.
I was kind of leaning on Pete, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he played me that shit, you know. I was DJing at St. Andrews. I started bringing the tape deck. I'd go over there. He'd make me tapes. And I fucking crammed that shit down everybody's throat. I bought a fucking portable DAT player, yo. That shit was like $700.
I was going to say, man, a portable DAT. Yo, you spending some skrill there, yo.
But he could bring me a DAT right from the studio right after they were, like, I played players like 3 hours after they recorded that shit. You know what I mean?
Okay, hold up. I'm just going to reiterate what this man just said. Shoes dropped players 3 hours after they recorded it.
So
at
listen,
St. Andrews. What?
There's a lot of fucking funny conversations about me with Dilla. No offense suck my dick, yo. If you got something funny to say, like, nah, like, I was the legs. If you heard the first time the real world heard Dilla shit, it was through my tape deck at St. Andrews Hall.
There
You
you
know
go.
what I mean?
There you go.
Then he would feed me test presses, and every motherfucking record that he got, he gave to me to play on a Friday night. He came through with DAT tapes. He gave me special batches to play to crack motherfuckers' heads. So you see these weirdos like, who is this house shoes guy? It's like, bitch, do your fucking homework. Who is Albert Einstein?
Okay, first off, I'm just going to say, if you're asking the question, who the fuck is House Shoes? Psh.
But I have this defense mechanism because I've gone through all this silly shit. With
Yeah, you have, actually. You have.
Motherfuckers that don't know nothing about nothing. And it's like,
You have.
Who am I? I put out JD's first record, man.
Yo, exactly. Yo, straight up.
His first record out.
Yeah, because that's fact.
And but you don't see me out here like I put out JD's first record. Nah.
No, you were not. No,
but
you were not.
But if you make me say that, if you make me fucking say that, I'll tell you that. You know what I mean?
Yo, man, it is what it is. Straight up.
Yeah.
Whew. I'm gonna throw another name at you, man. Danny
listening.
Brown.
Oh man. Special. Individual. Singular. You feel me? Danny Brown had a release party for Hot Soup. Hot Soup is his first album.
Yes, sir.
Fully produced by Nick Speed, my brother. You know.
Yo, respect Nick Speed all day.
And it was at Oslo, the sushi joint in Detroit. Upstairs was a sushi restaurant.
Okay, at a sushi. Okay.
Yep, shout out to Cat and Bet. But the basement was a club. It was a small, intimate club with a great sound system.
Nice.
And they had a release party for Hot Soup there. And I DJ'd there that night. And I played nothing but Danny Brown music for 4 hours. And I might have played like 3 songs twice. He had this crazy catalog, and the crazy thing is, it's like 100 people there. It's a small spot. Half of the crowd has no idea who the fuck Danny Brown is. The other half of the crowd knows every word of his shit. And like 3 songs in, you can't fucking tell the difference. It was such a singular moment, just seeing our shit and regular motherfuckers in the same space and everybody at the same vibration. That shit was fucking unbelievable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Unbelievable.
Danny Brown was I remember the first time I heard Danny Brown, and then finding out he's from Detroit. Like, what the fuck are you? God damn, Detroit. What the fuck's going on in Detroit? God damn.
Yeah, man.
Shit.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna throw another name at you.
All right.
Kel Chris.
Wait, say it again.
Kel Chris.
Kel Chris. Why am I blanking right now? I feel like I should know this, but I'm tripping.
Rapper Kel Chris recently dropped an album in the last while.
Quelle.
Did I? Okay, see, this is my bad.
Quelle. No, Quelle is fucking...
No disrespect, Quelle Chris. I literally thought it was... Because in Canada, that's spelled Kel.
Okay.
Quelle. So in French, that's Kel.
Okay. Yeah, Quelle. So
Thank you for breaking that down.
All good. Yo, Quelle, once again, an individual, somebody that you cannot... When you hear Quelle, it makes you wonder who his influences are. You can't tell who his influences are. You know what I mean? And that's the type of cats that I fuck with. I put Quelle's first record out. It was a dude back in the MySpace days that hit me up. He was like, I got a better tax return than I thought I was going to get this year. And I want to put a Quelle record out, but I don't know nothing about putting records out. So let me just give you the money and you do it.
Shit.
And you just pay me back. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And so at that time, Quelle had Monday's EP that was bananas, and then he has a group with Denmark Vesey called Crown Nation.
Yes.
And they had the Crown Nation EP, so I took like select songs off of each of them. A-side, B-side. A-side, Blue Mondays EP, B-side, Crown Nation EP. And this is where it got strange because he had like $1,500. And it's like, we can't afford to get printed covers with that. But if you have that plain black sleeve with a hole
on
like that shit is anonymous in a record store. Like, there's got to be something. You got
Hell
to
yeah.
make somebody want to put that record on the wall. So I sent him like 300 blank album covers, and he hand drew every cover.
God damn. Hand drawn every
And you
cover.
can find them bitches on Discogs for like $50. It's crazy. I wish I
That's
could buy
wild.
all of them,
That is
all of
wild.
them. But yeah, I put Quelle's first record out. I put JD's first record out. Technically, I put out Danny Brown's first record on Street Corner too.
I'm saying, man, like when I say tastemaker, nothing, literally no word.
And I'm not trying to be the shit. Understand
It
that.
is,
Listen,
no,
I'm
but
not doing
it's
this shit like,
true.
it's like the music is all that matters. The music is what speaks. I shut the fuck up unless I don't want to. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing, is that it's been obvious, from time that, you do this because you genuinely appreciate and dig the artist that you're encountering and
Well, and
believe so
also,
much in what they're doing.
and not only that, and this is where like you can look at it like it's shit talking, but it's not. I'm just really fucking good at this. I'm really good at what I do. I'm really good at making records.
You ain't lying, dog. You ain't lying.
Like you could give me all your shit, and I can give you your record, and it could like in hours. Like it's so easy for me, yo. Like I don't need nothing. Like I'm grateful for the gift, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
It's funny that we're talking about this right now, because one of the things I wanted to ask you is, even if I might have an idea of the answer, you've got that in our ear, dog. Have you not ever wanted to take a
I don't
position?
want to fuck with none of that shit, man.
Okay,
Like,
I kind of figured, but I gotta ask.
Listen, understand this too. I've eaten a lot of shit keeping it this real. I've lived at a much lower standard
Yeah,
than a lot of people. I don't play ball though. You know what I mean? Like I had AJ Khalil, who's one of the most fucking greatest producers of all time, tell me this motherfucker. I ran into him at NAM a couple years ago, the year before the pandemic, and it's a homie. I charge Khalil's batteries. That's another thing that I do. Like I charge people's batteries, like
Word.
from a motherfucker you never heard in your life to somebody at the top of the fucking shelf. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They come over here and they sit down, and I whip their motherfucking ass with all these records. You know what I mean? And he told me, he was like, Shoes, from the boardrooms to the studios to the streets, motherfuckers know you got the best ear in the game.
That's no joke.
That's from DJ Khalil, yo. So when I start hearing this little other shit, I'm like, man, shut the fuck up, yo. Like, I'm working. You know, even when I'm not working, I'm working.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And people just take offense for some reason. There's way too much sensitivity in an era where just the honesty in itself can be viewed as like too much. Like, I'm not gonna play ball with that. I'm gonna tell you the fucking truth every time.
And truthfully,
and if you got a problem with that, that's your bad. I ain't got nothing to do with that. All I'm doing is the truth. You know what I mean?
Nah, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, especially because of your ear, and I'm just going to speak specifically about your ear. If people are coming to you and saying, "Yo, Shoes, can I get your thoughts on this kind of thing?" I feel like because of those ears of yours, man, like, yo, take heed of your feedback, because
Right.
it could only help. It could only help.
Yep. I went to a homie's listening party the other night, and I wasn't going there for nothing else, but it was a homie, and he invited me out to, like, it wasn't a release party, it was just a listening party. He had a work in progress.
Yeah.
And he invited me for a reason. So when he pressed play on that bitch, I opened my phone up, I pulled my notes out, and I took notes on every song. And as soon as that shit was over with, I was like, bro, let me talk to you outside real quick. And I was like, that shit was dope. There's like 3 things. Like, you kind of missed some shit right here. And he was grateful. Because if he imparts the things that I told him, that record is going to be off to the races.
There you go.
You know
That's
what I mean?
I'm saying. There you go. I mean, I know artists can be very personal about their work as well, because, like you said, business is personal, and I know artists can sometimes not take, constructive criticism
Right.
as well as they should. But I
Sensitivity.
feel, yeah, but like I feel like, yo, this is the business you chose to get involved in. If you can't deal with constructive criticism, then maybe you just shouldn't share your art with the world.
Yo, real shit. And if you're available for compliments, be available for criticism.
Hell yes.
And
All
if you
day.
and if you don't want to be available for criticism, then don't be fucking available for the compliments. That's the realest shit. Fuck with, you know what I mean? Like if you ain't trying to hear the shit they talking, give you hand jobs.
No, for real.
Uh,
For real. Artists, and I'm talking about artists. No matter whether you're a DJ or you rap or you produce,
yeah,
man,
get them yes
constructive
men from
criticism just
around you,
makes me
yo.
better.
If you don't have
Yeah, kill
somebody
those, kill
around you
those.
tell if you don't have somebody around you telling you the truth, then you are failing. You know what I mean? And if you don't have
Get
a
that
homie
ego
that you can be
aside.
like, how about this one? Like, what do you feel? And if he could be like, man, that shit sucks, and you not turn into a bitch, that's the most grateful. Be grateful for that relationship more than anything, because
Straight up.
I can't talk to any of my friends like that.
It is what it is.
Yeah, man.
Yo, I got another name for you. Someone who we had on in the lounge space a little while back who, wow, whew, Jametta Rose.
Oh, Queen.
Woo! Queen. God damn. What was it about Jametta Rose? Yes. Yes.
So I'm grateful. I actually met Jametta Rose when I was working at Fat Beats on Melrose.
Okay.
And she had the Barber's Daughter album, and she was working it herself. She had a box of CDs. She came in. She was about her shit. I was like, word. She gave me a CD. I was like, yeah, you dope. And we got cool. We got, she was J1 was called the Animal Kingdom, and he would name all of us, and we would all kick it. It was like a little secret society. You know what I mean? And he died.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he was Dame Funk's drummer.
Rest in power. Rest in power.
He died like a little over 10 years ago when the tour was over with, overseas, sketchy shit. And I had this song called Castles. It was a beat that I had just made when I moved to LA.
Yes.
Jermaine Jackson shit. And she wrote a song to it that is to this day absolutely like, I'm so grateful that I don't even understand how my name is on that. You know what I mean? Like I cry every time I hear this song, and it's like 12 years old. And
That's
I
real.
made that. You know what I mean?
Real.
I've had people come up to me in record stores like my mother died of cancer and that song got me through it. You know what I mean?
That's
unbelievable.
Real. That's
so when I started the record label, we started this series called The Gift, and then
right.
we had, right around that time, it was like 8 years ago, I had her pick a beat off of each volume of The Gift, and she wrote these incredible songs, and we actually just performed this record for the first time yesterday in Long Beach.
Yes. I was gonna ask you, how did it go, man?
Yo, it was fucking hot.
Woo!
It was probably about 96 degrees.
Yes, it's hot over there right now. Shit.
She fucking killed it. She has a lot of work going on with her group, The Voices of Creation, which is this incredible choir that she's built up, and she writes all the songs for us. Unbelievable. Please tap in. Jametta Rose, Voices of Creation. But yeah, it was a celebration yesterday. It just felt so good. I was getting emo. You know what I mean? It's a really good fucking record. I want y'all to all check it out. It's on the streams. Jametta Rose, The Gift.
Damn good record. Damn good record.
And it's dirty. It's just singing over.
Yeah, man, it is though.
Dirty beat.
I love that shit though. I love that it's dirty.
Right, absolutely.
And I especially was digging the fact that you were dealing with a soul artist.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. I love that so much. When I saw that, I was like, fuck yeah, that's so right.
That's like my way. That's my way of doing it. You know what I mean?
And it's a damn good record, by the way.
It is.
I already told her, so I'm going to tell you, it's a damn fucking good record. Folks, if you haven't already listened to that new Jametta Rose, go after this, listen to it. Trust.
Yes.
You'll be worth every moment, most definitely.
Word up.
So let's talk about Flip Sessions.
Okay.
You just finished number 8.
Yes, we
And
did.
the one thing that I love about Flip Sessions is, I mean, you know, there are beat challenges all over the place. Everyone's doing beat challenges, and you know that I'm all for it. I'm like, yo, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. But
Right.
when Shoes does a beat challenge, it's a little different, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. Because when Shoes puts his stamp on an artist, they tend to blow the fuck up. So if you win a Flip Sessions, I'm not saying it's guaranteeing your come up, but you definitely setting the stage for your come up.
Landscape got one. He won one. Shout to Landscape.
Yes, he did. Your respect to Landscape all day. That's the homie. Hell yes. Hell yes. Most def. It's funny. The most recent, the 8 that you just did, there were a couple of Winnipeg contributions as well.
Hold on. My door's ringing. Hold on one second.
Yeah. He's got to get his door. He's got to get his door. So I'm just going to let y'all know. I just want to send a shout out to Gritty Boy Mac because I know he contributed. I know Gritty Boy Mac sent in beats for Flip Sessions. I feel like Infinite Peasy also sent something in. And there may have been one more. Infinite Peasy, not necessarily from Winnipeg. But I know Infinite Peasy, Gritty Boy Mac, they both submitted. If I'm missing anyone else, if there was anyone else in Winnipeg that submitted, please let us know in the comments. But I was really happy to see that.
That was some weird shit. At least it wasn't the Secret Service.
Yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt. While you were taking care of that, I was just letting some folks know that there are a couple of homies that did submit from here in Canada. Off top, I know Greedy Boy Mac from Winnipeg. I know he submitted something.
Word up.
I know Infinite Peasy submitted something. He's not from Winnipeg, but he's Canadian.
Word
and one thing I want to do just for Greedy Boy Mac, because he's from Winnipeg. What could you tell Greedy Boy Mac about his contribution if you can recall the beat off top?
Oh man, fuck.
It's hard. You had like over 100 submissions.
It was like 140, I think.
Yeah, man, there's a lot. That's a lot of music to go through.
Well, what I can tell him without even knowing that I can't place because I'm so focused on the end. So he's probably closer to the beginning, but the true winners in this shit are the people that play music for the first time in public or are figuring out how to navigate public spaces and letting their music be heard, because that's the most important step in your fucking career is letting somebody else hear your music.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So those are beyond the people that fucking got the spots on the record. Like if you played music for the first time in the Flip Sessions, like, and got in the room with some heavy motherfuckers, like, you won.
That's a good thing. I mean?
Because if you can step into that room, you can step into any motherfucker.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So for number 8, Flip Sessions 8, Green Minds.
Oh my God, yo.
We got to talk about Green Minds.
Crazy, yo.
What we're going to do, I'm just going to play a real quick clip of Green Minds, just so people can have some reference. And then we're going to talk just a little bit about Green Minds. Let's drop this. Goddamn. Woo. Where's Green Minds from?
Overseas somewhere. I don't even know.
Goddamn.
Europe. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Head crack. I knew that
Seriously?
was the one. When I heard that one, I knew it was the one, yo. It was like in the middle of the playlist. I was like, fuck. It just felt like, and I don't even know what I'm looking for. I used to like have expectations. Like I kind of want something like this, but I learned losing those make it much better just for the whole contest. I just want to hear the best flip. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It might be totally out of my wheelhouse. But like that's the whole point of flip sessions is perspective. Like
Yes.
it's more than one way to skin a cat. And affording all these people to be in the same room at the same time, I feel is the most valuable point.
Look at you playing your A&R role yet again. Yo, I think it's just straight up. You just wear that hat no matter what. You just straight up. You're just an A&R.
I'll
Without
take that.
without the bullshit trappings.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'll take it.
There you go. I feel like if Shoes puts that rubber stamp on your shit, god damn, run with it and go succeed, yo. That's straight up. Run with it and go succeed. I'm gonna ask you a little bit about this joint too. This was from Elusive.
Ooh.
All right. Your thoughts on
Crazy.
Elusive. Your thoughts on Elusive.
Expansive. Like,
yes. I love
crazy
how you did
feeling.
not know where he was going with it.
Nah, right? You know what I mean? Like I'm not prepared for any of this until I press play. And I didn't listen to any of the entries until, like, I heard a couple things, like glimpses just going through Instagram and shit, but I tried to
Right.
scan past them
Right.
because I didn't want to listen. I want us to all listen to the shit at the same time.
Right.
You know, that's a pivotal thing too. Like, we're all experiencing this linear, you know what I mean? Like, and that shit's crazy. Like, you got to play the sample though, because they're not gonna get it unless you show them, like,
yeah. Oh man,
you know,
I don't know if I have the sample. Do you have the sample on you? Can you play it?
I do. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, play that sample. Cause yeah, I didn't even think of loading that into Serato. Like, yo, I probably should have. But if you got
All
that
right,
sample,
I'm gonna take the mic out of the phone and just
Yeah,
play
yeah,
it into the phone.
yeah.
Oh. What's going on here? Oh, that's what's going on.
Remy LeBeau says the sample sounds very familiar. You want to let him know who that is?
It's actually like some unreleased library shit. I got Luke Vibert had a record back in the day on Mo Wax that was really, really dope.
You just referenced Luke Vibert, and for that I got to give you props.
Yo, that's how I got hit with the shit. Because he had and my man Mike Huckabee, rest in peace, one of my OGs who used to tuck test presses for me and shit at Record Time. He put me up with this Luke Vibert record back in the day, and it was crazy.
Damn.
But then he had 3 compilations of crazy library shit. There's a bunch of Doom samples and all.
Okay.
It's called Nuggets. You know what I mean? There's 3 volumes. Luke Vibert Nuggets. All my beat heads tap in. but there's unreleased shit from these music library
Man,
catalogs as well, and that's where that came from.
there you go.
Yeah,
I love the fact. I mean, for people who aren't familiar, I mean, you're hearing a lot of names that you should be researching after the fact. Trust.
yeah,
A lot of names you should be researching after the fact. Now, once again, going back to the A&R thing, truthfully, you've been doing flip sessions. It is like number 8 already. And as I mentioned, you are using your A&R ears towards this. If someone wants to take beat making and or production seriously, what should they like? What sort of approach should they be utilizing to jump in? Because as you know, like 404s are really popular now. There's a
yeah.
gang of motherfuckers that
Right.
they're hopping on
Absolutely.
and they're chopping. But I mean, like any other medium, man, like you gotta know like how to get into it. So like if a dude just like I'm gonna go grab myself a 404, like what do I need to think about when I'm embarking on this journey?
Be you. Who are you? You know what I mean? Like, ain't no type beats. Ain't no type beats. Like, don't do that. Like, get your practice in before you get in the game. You know what I mean? Get your shit together. Figure out who you are before you present yourself. But be who the fuck you are and figure out who the fuck you are. Don't just be a tool for these motherfuckers to play with. You know what I mean? Like, we need that. Make me a beat like that. Like, nah, man. Figure out how to get your shit to the point where motherfuckers is making beats like you do.
On top of that, is it safe to assume that when you first started getting into production, that a lot of the early beats were reflected a lot of your very obvious
Oh, absolutely. I got a
influences?
super primo stage.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
I got some funny fake ass Dilla beats from like 30 years, 25 years
Yep.
ago. Real shit.
But that's
Absolutely.
okay. That's part of growing.
Yeah, but wait until you know that you're grown to step into a game full of grown ass men.
Exactly.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Just
And
because.
just figure out a way not to express your influences so much. Be influenced. Don't do what they do. That's what made Jay so mad. Is like everybody was just copying back in the day.
And they're
Like
still kind of copying, but
I never heard somebody shit and was like, I want to make a beat like that. If I heard some fire back when I was making beats, it would make me want to do something crazy. My own shit though. I was never like, I want to make. How did he make that beat? I want to make that beat.
yep.
And just to keep it a buck with the drum packs, I feel like that has lowered the ceiling a lot.
And they're
Um,
everywhere now.
I respect the dealer. I don't know if I respect the client. You know what I mean? Because it was a fucking insult back in the day. If your homie was like, "Hey, bro, you need some drums," that shit was like,
I love how you bring that up. I love how you bring that up because that's facts.
"Yo, man, if somebody tried to give you some drums, that was like low key a slap in the face."
Right?
Like, fuck.
You'd be like,
Okay.
damn, what? Nah, man,
Yeah,
fuck your
nah.
beat.
Nah, man. Do you, man? You got to figure out who
Yeah.
the fuck you are before you step into any of this shit, man.
But
Don't
I
be
mean,
in such a. Nobody should be hearing your third or fourth beat.
yeah.
Nobody should be hearing your 20th beat.
Yeah.
Play it for your homies.
Yeah.
Don't make a SoundCloud and just be in a rush for likes. Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah.
Work. Do the work.
Yeah. For real. For real. You got to get the reps in.
Absolutely, man.
Got to get the reps in. And truthfully, when it comes to hip hop and all the elements, that literally is across the board. I don't care if you rap, if you break, if you paint, if you
100%.
produce. Get your reps in.
Absolutely. And stop rapping like Kendrick. It's frustrating. You hear some shit, you be like, damn, he's dope. And then you're like, oh. I don't know, man. It's like Kim Kardashian. There's like a singular wanted to look like this one bitch. You know what I mean?
Yep. Straight up.
And
Straight up.
and the same shit happened with the beats. You know what I mean? Like my brother Knowledge is the most influential producer of all
Ooh,
time.
respect to
If you
knowledge.
like, shout to my brother Dilla, but you had to pay for all that shit back in the day. So unless you had like 7-8 grand to buy
Yep.
turntables and a
Yep.
mixer and buy records and machines and all that shit,
It
you
was
couldn't make
investment.
the beats.
Yep.
But when Knowledge came up, there was
Woo.
you didn't have to invest. He is, in my opinion, absolutely the most influential producer of the beat era, man,
Easily.
because the tools were available to everybody. And it's so many people that just they put the same drops in the same spots, and it's like, come on, bro, what are you doing?
Yes, sir.
The beat might be dope, but it's got all of his sauce on it, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing,
Yep.
bro? Where the fuck is your sauce at, man? Find your sauce.
Straight up.
Get your ass in the kitchen.
I love this. I love that. And one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on is because I knew you were going to drop science that people can take away.
Real talk.
Straight up.
I'm not. I'll be the first motherfucker to tell you I am not an asshole. I am one of the nicest people you will ever meet.
I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Hospitality is
people
super
can see.
important to me. I take care of people, yo. Like, I take care of people, yo. And I just talk my shit. But when I talk my shit, it comes from a place of love and protection.
There you go.
No matter how wild it is, it comes from love. It comes from like, nah, that shit ain't right. So as strong as that shit is, I got to bring that shit on the other side from this source. You feel me?
Yep.
Everybody out here like Shoes is just crazy. I'm not crazy. You just don't give as much of a fuck that I do. Like when I moved out of Detroit, I knew it was going to be over, and it frustrated me because nobody cared as much as I did. I had a responsibility to provide for the city. And now that I'm 47 fucking years old, the world is my city. And I got to fucking provide for it. And that's never going to change. You know what I mean?
And truthfully, if you flipped on us now, I mean, we'd just be like, the fuck happened with you? You know what I'm saying? If like Shoes suddenly flipped and, you know, started like, I don't know, peddling some, I don't know, some weird ass beat. Be like, what the fuck was happening over there? You know what I'm saying? Because one thing about the quality of what we've come to expect from you is that it has to now be Shoes quality. Straight up and down.
It's funny how there's this ongoing conversation where people talk about loyalty. What's more important, loyalty or respect?
It's like a Drink Champs episode.
But I'm like, yo, but on some real shit, like, fuck both of them. Because what really matters is dignity and integrity.
I'm with you.
Because those are internal.
Yeah.
Loyalty and respect are both outward.
Yep.
Because they're internal too, but in these conversations, it's all outward. What's more important? You know what I mean? Nah, integrity and loyalty, because that's who the fuck you are. Respect, like your reputation, like fuck your reputation. That's what people think about you.
Yep.
Who the fuck? What is your character? Because only you know what your character is. You know what I mean? And reputation is strictly other people's opinions. If they're all great, fantastic. What if they're all terrible opinions of you and you're the shit? You know what I mean? Exactly. Y'all got it fucked up.
And
Shout to my brother Pat. Shout to my brother Pat, man. Middle finger music.
Hey. So speaking just like off top, since we're talking about the beat scene right now, how do you see the beat scene right now?
It's amazing. It's a whole ecosystem.
Right?
It's been so beats. I mean, there's been what I'm looking forward to a space, not really, but when majors start paying attention, they're just gonna try to pimp it. But when they give it its independent respect, like I said this shit on fucking Instagram last week. I was like, beats don't need rappers.
Facts.
Rappers need beats.
Facts.
So no matter how ill you are, motherfucker, nobody ever in their life wants to hear an a cappella album from any rapper ever in the world.
Unless you're a DJ. Can you want to chop it up?
You need these fucking beats, man.
Yep.
You need these beats. And the producer and the DJ are two of the most disrespected people in the entire system.
From time.
And it's ridiculous. And they deserve their own space to live without any of that fuck shit.
Straight up.
And that's what I've done my best to provide. It works sometimes it don't.
when we're talking about some beat makers and producers right now, who do you see as what talents out there right now who you think people should be checking for?
Soundtrack, man.
Woo! Hell yes! God damn.
I thought I lost my ear, yo. Like it was like a year, maybe 18 months. Nothing turned my ear. It was not one singular new cat. And I met Soundtrack like 5 years ago.
Yeah, you messed with him for a minute.
And he never sent me shit. I would run into him at NAMM and here and there, and he never sent the pack. And the pack finally came by way of the homie Simi. Like Simi leaned on him, like send you some shit. And by the end of this year, we'll have put out. He'll have been on 6 records on Street Corner Music in a year and a half.
Yeah, man.
6 fucking records, yo. Like Soundtrack is crazy. He's the future. You know what I mean?
And right about now, I want to personally give Soundtrack his flowers. Because your shit is tight, dog. Respect. Straight up.
Absolutely, yo. I'm just grateful, yo. What if I didn't hear him?
Woo! You just happen to be always in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and I'm not really fully tapped. I don't like go hunting for motherfuckers on SoundCloud or any of that shit. Like shit just comes out the sky, yo.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
And plus, like to have to go through SoundCloud like that, that's too time consuming. That's way too time consuming. And I know
I did find Juicy on SoundCloud. The one time I did that, I found Juicy.
You found Juicy on SoundCloud?
Yo, he
okay, damn.
So this is a funny story too. So Timber, which is technically his second record on Street Corner Music.
Right.
I was just fucking around, and it was never for like a lot of time. Like I ran into him quickly. He had this shit called Timber. It was like 13 minutes long, and it was crazy. It was singular. It was independent of everything else. It was a great vibration. And I hit him. I was like, hey, man, like that shit is crazy. If you send me like another 13, 15 minutes, that'll be the B-side. We got a record. And he was like, word, like I got you, but I just finished this other shit. And he sent me fucking Kmart choppers.
Ooh.
And if you don't know about
let's look it up.
I'm 47 years old. So it's nostalgic, and nostalgia often gets in the way of your taste.
This is true.
I don't do the nostalgia shit. I don't play Return of the Mac. I don't do none of that shit. You know what I mean? I play good music. And he sent me. He was like, "I'm gonna do the side B for you, but check this Attention Kmart Choppers shit out." And what Attention Kmart Choppers is there was a dude working at Kmart like 30 fucking years ago, and he found out that they get these tapes every month that just play on loop.
Right, to play all over their system.
Fucking music covers, easy listening, announcements. And the dude started stealing the tapes every month when they came in. Like, he would put the new one in there, but he would keep the old one.
Mm-hmm.
They all got uploaded like 10 years ago. And this cat, Juicy the Emissary, white kid from Denton, Texas. Denton, Texas. Downloads this shit, and it's like the illest beat tape you ever heard in your motherfucking life.
Straight up.
And the innocence matters. I really feel that. Like, the way that these connections innocently happen has a lot to do with the energy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not headhunting motherfuckers. I'm not out here like, what's the next record gonna be?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if I don't find nothing, and there ain't gonna be another record.
Yeah,
I'm not
basically.
gonna rush.
Yep.
I will never do that. Trust that. So yeah, man, just grateful to be the motherfucking vessel, man.
God damn.
Attention Kmart Choppers.
Hell yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Done. Man, you know, it's been such a pleasure to have you in the lounge space. I thank you for your time. I want you to know that going forward, when you have new projects on the go, I want you to know that this is an open door policy. We want to help you promote that shit.
My man.
That's what we like to do here. We like to promote that dope shit. So on that tip, what should we be looking forward to?
Ooh-wee.
I understand if you don't want to say either.
Oh, no. I'm not hiding.
Okay.
Hold on. What we got right here?
Oh, damn. He's about to drop something on y'all. What are we looking at? That's a cassette.
So this is Shotgun Sleek Rifle.
Okay.
Quelle Chris.
Okay.
which is kind of his first proper album that came out 10 years ago.
Okay.
Never been on vinyl, it's been on CD, but we got
Right.
vinyl and tapes.
Hey.
That will be available on me and Quelle's tour in October. The next record, though, is exciting. It's Mike and Keys, who produced Nipsey's Victory Lap album.
Okay.
And
That's an interesting. Whoa, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I
Not
met
surprising.
them. I met
but
them
interesting.
like 6-7 years ago through Bink. Shout out to the homie Bink. You know what I mean? Blueprint, like super OG, heavy motherfucker. He linked me up with Mike and Keys. And we have been kind of playing tag for years and never really tapping in. And Nip passed, unfortunately.
Yes, rest in power.
And they called me over to the studio. And I walk in that motherfucker. They got a Dilla doll right next to the fucking console. And Mike tells me that the first thing that Nip would do whenever he comes up in the fucking studio is give the Dilla doll a dap.
Oh, yo, that's a
and
what?
And they sit, like, they sit me in Nip's chair, and Mike looks at me and goes, "We want to do an instrumental record on Street Corner Music."
Oh my god! Oh my god! Yo,
so guess what the fuck you gonna do then? You
God,
know what I mean?
Hell yes.
And those records will be landing any day now. Mike and Keys, Formula One. There's many moments that seem like it could have been the follow-up record. You know what I mean? To Victory Lap. It's crazy. I went through like 200 beats. I'm very hands-on with Street Corner Music. I don't take
as you should be
projects for the most part. Like, you got to give me your shit, and I kind of make my version of you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. As it should be. As it should be.
But this record is crazy. It's got joints that, like, there's a joint on there that Jay-Z did a song on that'll never come out. You gonna get the beat, though.
Damn.
You know what I mean? I'll play it real quick. Hold on.
Yes, please do. What?
Fuck it.
Whoo.
I want to bring all y'all over to Twitch so we can go nuts. You know what I mean?
For real, though.
Oh, all right, here we go. Jesus, watch this.
You get the air horns for that one. God damn.
Yeah, man.
Whee.
Yeah, so that's coming soon, man. I'm waiting. You know, the pressing situation, for those that don't know, there's a finite, like, you can get CDs done in a week, right?
But when it comes to vinyl, that's a whole other story.
Records right now are taking like 10 months.
Yeah, everyone's waiting on vinyl right now.
Like, we used to get test presses. Like, you turn your masters in, you get your test presses.
Exactly.
In like 2 weeks. You get your test presses in like 3 months.
Damn.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But
that's what everyone's dealing with right now. So you just got to deal.
That's what the supply chain is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's not immediate gratification. You got to be patient.
Yep.
One
but
thing
it's always
I will
worth the
say,
wait.
I hold records though. Like, I don't do that whole pre-order and then you get the record a year from now. I'm waiting right now to drop the street date because I'm not going to do it until the records are on hand.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's just going to go up in the next few days. So just stay tuned.
There you go. God damn.
Yeah.
Little sneak preview courtesy of Uncle Shoes. I love it, man. I love it.
Absolutely.
Well, yo, once again, I do want to thank you for giving us the time. And once again, I want you to know this is an open door policy going forward.
Word up. If there's anybody on the roster you want to tap into, just let me know, bro.
Oh, I
Like,
will,
you know
man.
what I mean?
I will.
Because, like, real talk, bro, they all got stories and they all deserve
Oh, yeah.
eyes on them. So let's figure that out.
We're definitely going to make that happen for sure.
You know what I mean?
Now, you know, if you don't already know, you can catch Shoes on Twitch. Let him know when you're on Twitch.
Oh, you know what? I'm about to be on that motherfucker as soon as we get off the phone.
Oh, shit. We're all going to hop on then.
I might even just stay here and just play some records. Like, we could all stay here. Like, fuck it. I got, you know what I mean? Who cares? But Mondays and Wednesdays, I do 9 to 5. I do 8-hour shifts.
And that's magic. That's magic.
Yeah. It's really fucking serious, yo.
Do you like Twitch? Are you digging the platform?
Twitch has been paying my rent since January 1st.
There you go.
So I'm fucking with it. And I try to, you know, when I got into Twitch, I wasn't thinking about it like, yo, I'm going to have this shit pay my rent. It was an escape. I just wanted to build kind of a safe space for all to get away from the world being on fire.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And now it's paying the rent. You know what I mean? And
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Hell yeah. Well, yo,
shit,
man.
we could just fucking hang out here. I mean, you want to stick around? We can just start playing.
Oh, I would, man, but I gotta move on to my next thing. Otherwise, I'd be on much longer with you. Trust. But you know what? This won't be the first time, man. We're gonna do this again.
Absolutely. All right. So the rest of y'all, I'm gonna just stay on IG Live.
There you go.
And
y'all stay on with Shoes. Y'all stay on with Shoes. All right. And then that he mentioned he's on Twitch Mondays, Wednesdays, the Magic Show. It's a fucking damn good show. Trust. There's a lot of bullshit on Twitch too, but he's not going to do you wrong. Trust me. Trust.
Yeah, it's a good place. It's a good place to be, man.
Respect, dog. Appreciate it.